Hi, my name is Jenny Lauren Dowden for Conduit News. Today we have Senator Dan Sullivan joining us. He is in Little Rock right before the Arkansas special session is set to begin. Hi, Senator. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Well, you all will have a busy few days ahead, possibly even longer. We know that this particular special session, the governor has said that he wants to keep it limited to tax relief legislation. We've seen the bill that's being proposed. First, just give us your overall impression on that.
Well, the tax bill that has been proposed, I'm going to support the bill. It moves, changes our tax rate from a high of 5.5, 5.7 down to 4.9. And it does that gradually from 2022 until 2025. I think it's good legislation. It actually will bring us, our total tax burden will bring us more in line with states around us that have no income tax or a lower income tax. So we hear the call frequently that people want to get rid of our state income tax. Well, generally those things have to be done gradually. These are steps in the right direction. And again, the most important thing is that we are becoming more in line with our states in our region that have a lower overall tax burden than we do at this time. I think it's a good bill. It doesn't, of course, answer all the questions, but it takes us in the right direction and does it in a good way.
What would you say to those who may disagree a little bit? They say, this doesn't go far enough. There's not enough relief for Arkansans considering the taxes that the governor has passed over the years. It really is just a very small number considering what they've already been taxed.
Well, I would agree that the government spends too much money, and there are different ways of going about that. And could it go further? Yes, it can always go further. But again, this is a reasonable approach at this time. We'll be back in session, the fiscal session again, and if we need to do more corrections, we can. But again, I think this is a logical and good step. And if the goal is to be in line with states around us, this bill takes us there. It takes a few years, but you just can't fall off a cliff with taxes. You have to take a reasoned approach to it over time, and that's what I think this bill does.
So do you believe that this bill will get overwhelming support and easily pass?
I do not, can't say what all the legislature is going to do. There are a lot of different games that go on, and a lot of people, change their mind at the last minute. But if you go by the number of senators and legislators who have signed on as co-sponsors, it certainly appears that the bill is going to pass with good support.
Right, and it has co-sponsors on both sides of the aisle, I noticed.
Yes.
Well, what other bills? We know that there are several pieces on the call, but what are you seeing that are potentially on the table?
Well, I think there are 7 bills that the governor has out there. Some of them are more cleanup bills, like the insulin bill that I ran and passed. Was to give consumers the lowest price, because there are rebates on insulin that some consumers get and other consumers don't get. So the bill that was proposed and passed gave all consumers that rebate. We tried to leverage that with the manufacturers of insulin. We couldn't pull it off, so we're going to repeal that bill and come back later. I think the other bill that is out there, one of them is to transfer funds to a restricted reserve. I like that idea. It gives, we put that money in kind of a lockbox, and it takes a 3/5 vote of the legislature, both chambers, to get that money out of there. It prevents kind of those backroom deals of somebody wants some money and we're going to trade this for that. And the ALC or the governor can pull that money out at their discretion. This will put that money in a lockbox of sorts and require a 3/5 majority of both houses to pull it out of there. I think there are some other cleanup bills, appropriation for the rescue fund, a limited liability bill, a bill about security for the House and Senate, I don't think those are major bills, but those are certainly issues we'll be taking up. But I don't think there's any problem in passing them.
There's also talk about potentially extending the session and considering other bills. In your opinion, what is the mood of the legislature right now to even do that?
Well, I think it's going to be a lively discussion because there are some important bills out there. I think Senator Rayford has a bill for the Texas abortion bill. Most people know it by that. It's gone before the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court hasn't ruled. So there's a mood by some to wait until we hear what the Supreme Court. There's another group that wants to move it forward immediately. Senator Rayford also has a law enforcement tax credit bill. Again, a good bill, a good idea, something we need to do. Whether or not it goes far enough and includes all fire protection and emergency responders, whether or not this bill doesn't include that. So there's a concern by some that would just as soon wait until the fiscal session to do this. So again, it'll be a lively debate. Senator Garner has the CRT bill. Senator Garner is always exciting. He'll bring some drama to it, and whether or not we pass this at that time, it's just a toss up. And of course, that people are very interested in the healthcare freedom bill. Although the court struck down the mandates, that healthcare freedom issue is still out there for Arkansans who are losing their jobs and fearful of many different things. Whether or not Senator Ballinger is committed to bringing that up, I don't know. But what will happen is that we will take up the governor's agenda. Then there'll be a motion of some sort to adjourn or to extend the session. If we extend the session, my understanding is that it's extended for 15 days, and it takes a 2/3 majority to extend that session. So that will be a lively debate, and I have no idea how that's going to turn out.
Well, we will certainly be watching it. You mentioned the healthcare freedom bill, Senator Garner's CRT bill. Now would be the time, and what some would say that with the supermajority to really go for these bills that call for full school choice. That would essentially cure some of these side issues like divisive curriculum in the schools, like you mentioned, the healthcare freedom. Many Arkansans don't have time to wait until 2023. Why wouldn't the legislature go for that right now?
Well, one, it's going to take 2/3 of the legislature to go for that. And these bills came up during the regular session. So it's not like these are new issues or new items. And we heard testimony from the public. So there's just concern that if they didn't pass in the regular session, it's not proper or right to rush these bills through when the citizens don't have a chance to come down and testify for them again or against them, however they choose. Again, those are big issues. Some are concerned, and I share some of that concern on the CRT issue. Those need full debate. They need to be discussed fully, vetted fully, making sure they contain everything that we want to contain in them. I'm working on a bill right now, not a bill, but special language to defund or not provide funding for people that are teaching those concepts of CRT. So it's much broader than just passing one bill one time without full debate over it. And again, people need to know we had that debate back in the session and it didn't pass. And special sessions are for a specific purpose. And that's why the threshold is so high to bring up these other issues. And, one needs to be respectful of what the precedent is for our special sessions. Those thresholds are set, and special sessions are there for a reason. And we need to be respectful of what those traditions are and needs are.
What are you hearing from your constituents as far as the top issues that they would like to see?
Well, of course, the tax cut bill is primary. And I think Arkansas moving to one of the best tax lowest tax states in the nation is important. These states that have no income tax have taxes in other ways, high property tax, high sales tax. So when we move our tax burden down to be competitive with our states in the region, that by far is the most important thing we can do. As you asked a minute ago, what these other issues that might come up, what do we as a legislature want to come out of this session that will be known for? Whether the CRT bill or these other bills might distract from the primary purpose of making Arkansas a competitive state where businesses and people are moving to our state because we have that competitive tax structure. So I commend the governor, I commend the leadership of the House and the Senate for putting this together. Of course, it doesn't go far enough for some and it goes too far for others. But I think it's a bill that people have worked hard on and one that we can pass.
Is there anything else that you would like to add before we go?
No, just for our citizens to continue to pray for our state. There are, in our nation, there are so many important things out there, not just in the next 3 or 4 days, but what's going on nationally and how that impacts our people. We have the COVID still being out there, whether you for the shot or against the shot. The politics of COVID are just incredible. And we need to work through those and be strong and courageous and work together. People are still losing their jobs. Work is sometimes hard to find, even though our unemployment rate is way down. We have people that just won't take a job. And we need a lot of those dynamics. We need to be in prayer for and working hard.
Well, we thank you for all of the hard work that you do for Arkansans in Little Rock, and we hope that you stay in touch during this session.
Thank you, and it's a pleasure, and I appreciate the support that I get from my constituents and people around the state.
Thank you, Senator.
Thank you.